In the days when the earth was still young, when the spirits of the land walked openly among men, there was a village. It lay in the heart of what we now call Nigeria, nestled between the great river Niger and the endless forests of Iroko and mahogany. This village was called Imuaka here. The people lived by the rhythm of the seasons. They planted yam when the rains came, harvested cassava when the sun was kind, and sang praises to their ancestors, whose spirits lingered in the rustling leaves and the whispering winds. In this village lived a boy named Obina. His name meant father's heart, a bittersweet reminder, for he had lost his father to a hunting accident when he was just a child. His mother Nika raised him on stories told by firelight. These were tales of gods and spirits, of tricksters and heroes. He heard of the tortoise who outwitted the leopard, of the river goddess who blessed the fishermen, and of the ancestors who watched from the shadows of the moon. Obina was a quiet boy, but within him a curiosity burned like palm oil in a clay lamp. He would often wander into the forest, not to play, but to listen. He listened to the voices of the trees, the songs of the birds, and the murmurs of the river. He believed that the world itself spoke to those who had ears to hear. One evening, as the crimson sun dipped behind the hills and the village drums called everyone to dance, Obina strayed deeper into the forest than ever before. There he came upon an ancient Iroko tree. It was so vast that its roots coiled like great serpents and its branches seemed to touch the sky. At its base sat an old man. His skin was as dark as the earth, and his eyes glowed like embers. The old man greeted Obina with a voice that was both thunder and whisper. "Child," he said, "you have listened long enough to the world. Now, the world will listen to you." Obina trembled. He knew this was no ordinary man. This was a spirit, perhaps an ancestor, or a messenger of the gods. The old man told him that the village had forgotten a sacred promise, a covenant made long ago with Ayla, the earth goddess. She was the one who gave them fertile soil and flowing rivers, but she demanded respect, gratitude, and balance in return. "The people have grown greedy," the spirit lamented. "They cut trees without prayer, fish without offering kola, and speak harshly to one another." Because of this, the goddess had withdrawn her blessing. Soon famine and sickness would fall upon Imuaka. Obina, though only a boy, was chosen to restore the covenant. He was chosen because he had listened when others had not. The spirit gave him a task. He must journey to the 4 sacred places of the land, the river, the mountain, the forest, and the sky. From each he must gather a gift to present before Ayla so that harmony might return. Obina ran back to the village and told his mother everything. Nika wept with both pride and fear, for the journey was perilous. She gave him a charm she had woven from her own hair and cowrie shells. "This will remind you," she said, "that a mother's love is stronger than any spirit." At dawn, Obina set out. His first destination was the river. The fishermen were casting their nets and the women were fetching water, but the river was restless. Its waves rose like angry spirits. Obina knelt by the bank, and from the water, the river goddess appeared. Her body shimmered like moonlight on water, and her voice was like the rush of currents. "The people take my fish but forget to honor me," she said, her voice laced with sorrow. "So I have hidden my laughter beneath the depths." Obina began to sing. It was a song his mother had taught him, a song of gratitude for the water that nourishes all life. The goddess was moved by his sincerity. She gave him a calabash filled with her laughter, a sound like bubbling streams. "Carry it carefully," she warned. Next, Obina climbed the sacred mountain, where the hunters once prayed before setting out. But the mountain was silent, its stones heavy with forgotten prayers. As he reached the summit, the spirit of the mountain appeared, tall and immovable, with a face carved from rock. "The people once came to me with kola and palm wine, asking for strength," the spirit rumbled. "Now they climb only to boast. So I have hidden my silence in the caves." Obina knelt and offered no words. He simply listened, offering his own stillness, his own quiet respect. The mountain, recognizing his humility, gave him a stone that carried its silence. It was heavy, yet it felt light in his hands. "Guard it well," the spirit instructed. Then Obina entered the deep forest, the very place where hunters had slain animals without ritual or thanks. The spirit of the forest appeared, cloaked in leaves and shadows. "The people once danced beneath my trees, honoring the spirits," it whispered, "but now they cut without prayer. So I have hidden my song among the roots." In response, Obina danced. His feet moved like the wind, his body swaying like the branches of the great trees. The forest was delighted by his respectful tribute. It gave him a flute carved from Iroko wood, a flute filled with the forest's song. "Play it only when the time is right," the spirit said. Finally, Obina looked to the sky. The elders once poured libations to Niam, the Sky Father, but now they ignored the heavens, and the sky grew heavy with gathering storms. Obina lay on his back, watching the stars begin to emerge. He whispered his gratitude for the light, for the rain, for the sun that warmed the earth. The sky heard his prayer. It sent down a single feather from a great eagle, glowing with a soft celestial fire. A voice from above spoke. "This carries the voice of the sky. Use it wisely." Obina returned to Umuaka. He carried the calabash of laughter. the stone of silence, the flute of song, and the feather of the sky. The people gathered as he approached, their hearts stirred by the courage of this small boy. He told them his tale, and they listened, truly listened. For the first time in a long time, he placed the 4 gifts on the ground. From the very soil itself, Isla, the earth goddess, rose. Her body was as vast as the land, and her eyes were as deep as rivers. She looked at Obina, and then at the villagers. "You have listened, child," she said, her voice echoing with the power of the earth, "and you have reminded the people that the world is alive. Every river, mountain, forest, and sky carries a spirit that must be honored." She blessed the village once more. The soil became fertile again, the rivers abundant, the forests generous, and the sky kind. But she left them with a warning: forget again, and the gifts will vanish. From that day forward, the people of Imwaka remembered. They poured libations before planting, sang songs before fishing, danced beneath the trees, and whispered prayers to the sky. Obina grew into a wise elder, known throughout the land as the listener. His story was told by griots and mothers, by elders and children, around fires and beneath the stars. It became a timeless reminder that listening is the first step to wisdom, and that harmony with the world is the greatest wealth we can ever possess. And so the tale of Obina, the boy who listened, was passed down through the generations. It reminds us that the earth is not ours to take but ours to honor, that in silence there is wisdom, in laughter there is joy, in song there is memory, and in the sky there is always hope, and that those who listen deeply, truly listen, will always hear the voice of the world guiding them through the storms of life. Thank you for listening to this story. If it resonated with you, please consider sharing it and subscribing for more tales from around the world.